All right, this question is from one of your very good fans, Omar Rahim.
Probably going to say Omar Sharif.
No, Omar's he's in Australia. He had told me the story about how his family came out from Iraq, and very very interesting story, and great to hear people coming over to Australia and making a new life and becoming part of the Australian society and contributing. So that was a great story to hear from Omar. But his question was, hey Sam, can you ask Lee his opinion on the American election? And does he agree it's more interesting than Australian politics? And this will get you into trouble again, specifically Donald Trump.
Well, I think it's more interesting, because America's more savage and they really go after them. Sure, we have politicians throwing dirt here and that, but not like America. And, Donald Trump, sadly he just says what a lot of people think. Yeah, okay, he might come across as bold and brass, saying, he wants to build a big wall and stop that. That when he said about, a lot of Mexicans coming over, committing crimes, rapists and stuff, well, that does happen. Not all of them, sure, but a lot of them do. So he's talking about the bad ones there. And when he's saying, stop immigration, stop the Muslims coming in. But he said, they always say, Donald says, stop the Muslims coming in. But after that he says, until we can work out who they are and where they're from, which to me makes sense. It's like, you just don't invite anybody into your country or your house if you don't know who they are or where they're from. You pretty much know who they are and then you let them come in. So if he's saying stop the Muslims coming in to actually do the good background checks on them and that sort of stuff, what's wrong with that? If you have people coming into your country to live, you don't want terrorists and all these crazy people coming in. Keep them out until you do the research, find out what their background is, have they got any connections to terrorist groups and that. If they haven't, and they're decent people who just want to come there for a new life and fit into society and help out, then let them in. So I don't see the problem. The media's going to turn things every which way they want to, but the good thing about Donald is he's not an ass kisser. He doesn't need need these people for their money, for their lobbyists. But sadly, I think if he keeps going, because people in America, if they can't control you, you're pretty much fucked. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be like a target on Donald soon, and any of these rallies or somewhere, or if he gets in, Donald might be assassinated, sadly, because like I said, they can't control him. He's one of those people like, I don't need your money, I'll do what I want to do, I don't need your lobbyists for money, for backing, for this or that. I've got an agenda and I want to do this that way. I've listened to the American people. That's one thing, a lot of American people do that, but everyone's always going to turn into a race thing, which really it isn't. He's just making blatant statements that, on different stuff that he sees, and people know what's going on. And like I said, the stuff he's saying, people just make out, he's being racist. No, he's not. If someone said, I don't want these people coming in to do background checks on them, if they were white people, if a whole heap of white people are going to come into a country from somewhere, like say a whole heap of Americans wanted to come here and live, and we didn't know who they were, we didn't have passports and stuff, I want people to do checks on them. You don't know who they are. They could just be crazy nutters, they could be bombers, they could be like militia group people, they could just be crazy Christians who want to go on a mass suicide pact, they could be anything. So you want to do your background check on anyone, black, white, yellow, green, anything. So that means you like Kermit the Frog wants to come in and he's green, we have to do a background check. So I really like Donald. Like I said, I'm not really into Hillary, she lies too much, she's lied about too much stuff. I watched that movie the other day, the one about 13 hours in Benghazi.
Oh, what was that like?
Benghazi thing good, and how Hillary Clinton lied and that, and these actual guys that were there, who they made the movie about, were on this Fox television show, and they were saying how the family that said this was the reason it happened because of this video and that. And Hillary Clinton denied it, saying, well, someone's lying and it's not me. So she was pretty much saying these families were lying, and the soldiers were like, no, that family wouldn't lie, we know them personally, they got no reason to lie. So that's a very good movie about these guys over there in Benghazi and what happened when the American diplomat died and stuff like that. So very good movie, I highly recommend it. Good action and good story, and like I said, it's based on a true story, so you can go online and even look up the real guys who are actually in it on YouTube. So good. I don't really like Hillary in that. She's just not trustworthy on a lot of things, not because she's a woman, just because I don't like her. At least Donald, you might not agree with what a lot of he says, but at least he's just being Donald, being truthful and shit, so he's not bullshit. He's not saying, I can guarantee Donald's not going to promise one thing, so we're going to do something, then when he gets in he's not going to do it. Pretty much what he says he's going to do, I think he's going to do so. And then people are trying to compare him to Hitler and all this sort of stuff. So it's, you know, the media has their agenda and stuff, but it'll be interesting. Like I said, I'm sure they're scratching their heads now to try find another Lee Harvey Oswald as we speak.
Yeah, or one thing people got to remember is, say with Donald, he said that thing about Muslims building a wall. I think every political candidate over there, whether they're Republican or Democrat, receive money from Israel. They're big donors. And Israel know a lot about restricting the movements of Muslims and building walls. But yet...
You go to Rome, what's the Vatican got built around it? Hasn't it got a big wall around the Vatican City compared to Rome? But, you know, it's like, you know, when he says war too, about the war for Mexico, they've got a big fence anyway. He's just saying put a wall there. I'm sure they'll find a way to dig under it or go around it anyway, but he's just trying to think of a better security system because the fence has holes in it. So if he's saying build a big wall, hey, the Chinese made a great wall, so you know, he's just saying put a wall up instead of a fence because the fence ain't working. Lots of illegals are coming over. And like I said, a lot of ones are just looking for a better life, but also you get the ones that are coming over bringing drugs, bringing crime and stuff like that. So that's just sad. But like I said, they'll take anything that anyone says these days and twist it. The media will cut and chop a sentence and use it to their advantage. And like I said, he might say, I'm going to do this, and then that's what they play. But after he says, I'm going to do this, he might explain why, but no, we won't play that bit. We just get people riled up now. And then they keep saying that all these fights are because Donald's saying if someone's doing something, you punch him in the face, or you punch him here, or if someone throws a tomato, you hit him, and that sort of thing. So now he's saying Donald's inflaming, right? And then I was watching on one show where they were taking his speeches and comparing them to some of Hitler's speeches and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, you're going a bit far there, but you know, they're going to do what they're going to do. Everyone has their agenda these days in the news and media on who they want and try and turn things, but you know, good on him. At least you have to say you got someone in there who's being themselves. They're not being fake.
Yeah.
They're not, you know, twisting it, being good just to get votes or get money off different people. He's just up there doing what he thinks he should do and say what he should say. And Donald, like I said, he's listening to a lot of people, and sadly, whether it's wrong or right, that's how a lot of people think. So, you know, don't let that be a, you know, blemish on Donald. That's a blemish on the whole society. If, you know, the majority of the society thinks the way he does, well then, hey, you can't blame Donald for that.
Yeah, I think the only way you can make a true judgment about the others is until you say, well, okay, I'm getting money from this person, they're giving me money because they want me to do this.
Exactly.
Well, you don't know what
they're going to push the agenda that way, whoever's giving them the money. So, you know, if this person, you know, is giving me a couple of $100 million and they want to build a new road somewhere, I'm going to go vote for these different road laws to be put in and saying, oh, we need a new road here, and he's already got the money of these people to give them the contract. So, whereas Donald, he's like, you know, fuck you, I don't need your money, so I'll do what I want. So, like I said, they get very scared of things they can't control, so it's going to get very interesting, that's for sure. Much better than the politics here, which is fucking boring.
Yeah.
We've got no one decent here to vote for it all, so.
Well, we don't have to vote.
When I start running for Prime Minister or just government down here, vote one, Lee Priest. At least I'll tell the truth. And yeah, we don't have to vote because the last couple of times I haven't voted, but I have to pay the fine. But then yet when you get the election thing here in Australia, because we live in a democratic society, but you know, if you don't vote you can be fined, and if you don't pay the fine you can go to jail, so it's very democratic here. Not like in America, if you don't want to vote you don't have to vote, simple as that. But here they say you don't have to, but you have to, because I've paid the fine a few times. And then on the thing it says voting is a choice or something, blah blah blah. I gave a reason. I just said, you know, you got no one decent to vote for, so why should I vote? People go, oh, if you don't vote anyway, whoever's in gets back in. I said, well, that's fine, I couldn't care less, they're all as bad as each other. I give the people someone decent to vote for, I'll go and vote, but until then I will not vote, and I'll just pay the fine when the bill comes in the mail. Thank you.